Alright, welcome back to the brand split from day one. This is the first Raw following our first pay-per-view in Backlash. This is also the first Raw where Raw brand people are exclusive to Raw. So that's pretty cool. I just got a comment on the prelude that said John Cena did not start his, his part-time thing until after SummerSlam. Yikes. Let's just pretend that he started it in 2016. Like at the start of 2016, he took an absence. So we'll just say that didn't happen, but fucking pretend. Just pretend. It's gonna cause a lot of plot holes. Whatever. Fuck it, whatever, you know. Shit. I can't believe I fucked that up. I should have researched that before I booked it. Oh well. This is the first Raw on the build to SummerSlam. Build to SummerSlam's going fucking great so far. Sorry for cracking my knuckles. Someone asked also in a comment if there will be King of the Ring. Usually on my offline saves, I almost always have King of the Ring happen on SummerSlam. As of right now, that's not going to happen, but we do have a little bit until SummerSlam, so plans can change for King of the Ring to be on SummerSlam. If not, then there probably won't be one in 2016. There might be one next year. So there's that. Trying to think. I don't think there's anything else that needs to be said, so let's just get right into the show. We open this new era of Raw with the Stephanie and Shane McMahon duo. Just like in real life, we open with all the superstars at the top of the ramp talking. You know, all the dudes and Nikki Bella and Alicia Fox are there. And basically the entire Raw Rock Room, they're just on the stage. Steph and Shane, they're both in the ring with microphones. And they discuss the plan for the new World Championship that will be on Monday Night Raw. They both go over parts of the plan, but just to save time, I'll just tell you what the plan is straight up. The plan is, in the build to SummerSlam, there will be 3 triple threat matches, and the winner of those 3 matches will all advance into a 4th triple threat match, where the winner will go to SummerSlam and take on the hand-picked talent, number 1 pick of the entire draft, Seth Rollins. Obviously, you can tell which half Shane McMahon came up with, given all these people opportunities, and which part Stephanie McMahon had input in. The winner of that match against Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, whether it be Seth Rollins or not, that person will be the first ever Universal Champion. I know I said at the beginning of the save that I would not be using the Universal Championship, or at least not that design. I hate to say it, but I am going to be going back on that word, but I have a good reason. See, my reason is I like to have pictures of the champions holding their championship, right? So if I use a custom-made championship, or a championship that wasn't used very often, or people don't really have pictures of, it's gonna either look like shit, or I won't be able to use pictures for that championship. So I think just to make that easier, I'm just gonna use the Universal Championship, the puke red, ew, oh my, could you imagine puking red? Oh, no, the ugly red title will be what it looks like. And honestly, it doesn't really matter. It does look like shit, but it's more about the meaning of the championship. So I guess Barclays Center's still going to have a field day. Oh yeah, the 3 triple threats are, and this is in order of how they're going to happen, I think. Yeah, in order of how they're going to happen. So on tonight's show, we will have Cesaro versus Darren Young versus The Miz, and Chris Jericho versus Neville versus Randy Orton. Then next week, we will have Hideo Itami versus Kevin Owens versus Sheamus. So that is all the announcement. Yes, these 6 are representing the entire Raw roster. I felt they were the most important names that were said. So next segment. First match of Raw in the new era is the GM's trying to give Sin Cara another opportunity to showcase his talents, and he does not live up to the expectation or whatever it is, and he loses to Golden Dustin Rhodes by pinfall with the Golden Age after just 5 minutes. It was a competitive 5 minutes, but it was also 5 minutes. Following that match, R-Truth rushes to the ring, trying to get some revenge on his former partner, Golden Dustin Rhodes, but Dustin sees it coming and just dodges out of the way, walks out through the crowd just kind of wagging his finger like Dikembe Mutombo, like, no. You aren't going to get it one. You're not going to get a quick one off of me that easily. Following that, we have the second to last, the fourth of 5 announcements for the Cruiserweight Classic, and somebody commented recently that the Cruiserweight Classic is looking stacked, and I fucking agree, dude. I love this Cruiserweight Classic. So we do have a bunch of shitty WWE names in this one. 4 out of 6, to be exact, have shitty WWE names. I guess 5, but I would argue that one's not shitty. So for our first two wrestlers, they are very similar. That's not the word. They are very close, and when you think of one person, you automatically think of the other. So I'm just going to announce these two at the same time. Hailing from Mexico, we have the Lucha Brothers, Rey Fénix and Pentagon Jr., but their names are Rey, spelled with an A, Rey Fénix and El Pentagon. And they're still going to be called the Lucha Brothers because that name fucking rules. So they are numbers 1 and 2. Following that, we have hailing from the United States of America, the man formerly known as A.R. Fox. His name is Calvin Fox. I wanted to go with Dante Fox because I love that name, but I wanted to keep some, what's the word? It's not kayfabe, because kayfabe isn't real in TEW. Role-playing, and I wanted to, Lucha Underground names are trademarked, so I can't use Dante Fox or any fucking other name. Not Solemn. That was the WWE name. What was his name? Jeremiah Crane. I can't use that name. He's not in this, though, because the next person, also from the United States of America, the man formerly known as Son of Havoc, or Matt Cross. He will be wearing the Son of Havoc mask, and that will be his gimmick, is the Son of Havoc, but his name is Jordan Havoc. Following that, we have a man loved by the club. Those 3 in the club, they love this guy. And who couldn't love this guy? Hailing from Cuba, Rocky Romero. He will be keeping his name. He will not be switching to, Jason Romeo or something. He will be Rocky Romero. And the final man announced in this Cruiserweight Classic from the United States of America, returning to the WWE, our second and I believe our only return, not Tajiri, I wasn't a guess when I said United States, but one of my second favorite wrestler of all time. I have a weird list, Evan Bourne. I love that man. I'm so happy he's in AEW. I'm so happy that I get to see him on a weekly basis that isn't on fucking Impact. Evan Bourne's the final man announced, and let's get into these gimmick changes. Calvin Fox, very good. Lost his damage popularity more than usual. That's not good, but whatever. What is it? Cocky? That makes sense. El Pentagon. Pentagon and Fénix will be using the gimmick titled Zero Fear, which is fine. And Gimmick of Great, that's awesome. Large boost to Menace. I don't know if I'll ever be using that. Evan Bourne, fun babyface, very good. Standard, no pros and cons. Ooh. The Son of Havoc gimmick got an initial rating of poor, but it will rise over time. Small boost to Charisma, large boost to Menace. Why? What? Do legitimate gimmicks just give Menace boosts? Fuck. Rey Fénix, very good for the Zero Fear gimmick. Large boost to Psychology and Microphone. That's going to help a lot. That is going to help a lot. Rocky Romero, Egomaniac, large boost of charisma. That's good. And that is it for the gimmick changes. Our first triple threat match for the Universal Championship is underway. And in this one, Darren Young finally gets to get his hands on The Miz one-on-one, I guess. No, it's not one-on-one, but he finally gets his hands on The Miz. And he does the worst performance, but it's all about the story. Basically, Cesaro picks up the victory in this one. And, yeah, Darren Young and The Miz are going to continue feuding. Oh, yeah, I put Seth Rollins on the announcer's desk, by the way. He is announcing for this match. Following that, after that match, after all those guys clear out, Austin Aries comes out to the ring. Visibly upset. He demands a microphone from someone at ringside, and then he begins to cut a very angry promo. He says, "My entire career, I've been disrespected left and right. But last week was on another level. The one Austin Aries is Mr. Irrelevant? I am undoubtedly, if not the best wrestler in the entire company, and I was picked last? At that point, why was I even drafted at all? Does any roster want..." And then cutting him off, the one-man band Heath Slater's music hits. Heath Slater also very mad, but he's mad at what Austin Aries is saying. He has a microphone in his hand and just says, "What are you complaining about? At least you have a job. Right now, I'm not getting paid a cent. I went undrafted and neither brand wanted to sign me. Do you know what it's like to go home to your wife and children and tell them daddy doesn't have a job and nobody wants him? I'm gonna make you eat your words, Austin Aries. I'll prove to the GMs that I'm worth something by kicking your ass right now." Heath Slater throws down the microphone and puts them up, puts his fists up. A ref comes down to the ring and rings the bell. Heath Slater gets a few good, about 25 seconds of really heated offense in, and then Austin Aries just takes over. 2 minutes, Austin Aries wins by submission with the last chancery. Austin Aries clearly better than Heath Slater, proving it right now. And Austin Aries not a fan of what Heath Slater was saying. And he was looking to kick the shit out of Heath Slater even more after the match. But the Usos, who I found pictures for them, I found proper pictures for them, so that's good. Who the Usos run down and protect Heath Slater from a beatdown or a further beatdown by Austin Aries. Following that, I didn't write out anything because I've tried. There's like 3 recordings that I've deleted trying to cut Bray Wyatt promos and failing miserably. So I've given up, and I'm just not even going to try to cut a Bray Wyatt promo because I can't do it well. So basically, all that Bray Wyatt says is that since the New Day lost a 3-way at Battleground, up next, Braun Strowman and Eric Rowan will be fighting for the Tag Team Championships, and Bray Wyatt is confident that his boys will win it all. They don't, but he was confident, so that's cool. He was very confident, but Kofi Kingston pinned Eric Rowan after the midnight hour. Xavier Woods was at ringside, but he didn't really do much. He didn't even play the trombone. He just didn't want to do anything. And New Day make defense number 1 of the tag team titles. So there we go. Following that, we cut to a backstage segment where GM Shane is in front of one of those bulletin boards that you see in every cop movie with the red like rope, getting roped around thumbtacks, just with pictures all over the place. It's like a standard staple in every cop movie, TV show, wrestling segment involving cops. So there's an officer standing next to him, played by Mr. Hugo Knox for us. And Shane tells the officer that he has narrowed down the suspects. Officer Hugo Knox then asks him what are the suspects he's narrowed it down to. And very unconfidently, uncertainly, Shane says, well, it's either Booker T, Rikishi, or somebody that isn't a part of WWE. The cop immediately just sighs, rolls his eyes, and walks off. Shane has no idea what he is doing. Shane thought this would be much easier, but no. We then cut to a different backstage area. It is the ladies' locker room, which is almost fully empty. Stephanie McMahon walks in, says to Nikki Bella and Alicia Fox, just with a embarrassed look on her face, she says that Raw simply did not draft enough women to have a women's championship, so the two of them aren't really going to be used too much. Nikki Bella and Alicia Fox, understandably furious, begin throwing their gear, just not destroying the locker room, just angry, furious at Stephanie, and it all ends them demanding a trade to SmackDown, or else they're gonna quit. And Stephanie is just embarrassed because she's the leader of the women's revolution, and she did this. We then, in our semi-main event, have a decent bout. About that decent reaction and subpar wrestling between Bobby Roode and Jack Swagger. And Bobby Roode beats Jack Swagger in 9:44. Jack Swagger, did I say? Whatever. He beats Jack Swagger in 9:44 by submission with the arm Dude, I swear to God, some of these fucking finishers I've never heard of. When the fuck did he do this? Following that, there was supposed to be a promo here, but I forgot to write it out before I accepted the angle. So instead of having my fucking database just flooded with angles where I forgot to hit commentary and shit, I'll just not cut a promo. Basically, Bobby Roode, he has a microphone and he is furious that he was not selected for one of the triple threat matches. He is on the same boat as Austin Aries. He knows that him, Aries, and like two other people are on this top level. And those two weren't chosen? Me and Aries weren't chosen? Are you kidding me? It just furious. An angry promo. Angry promo. See what I mean? I can't cut a fucking promo without a script. Oh my God. There might be something onto those shitty scripts that WWE writes. It is now main event time. No, it is not. Whoops. It is not main event time. Jericho is about to enter for his triple threat match where him and Seth Rollins just kind of have like this awkward back and forth where it's like Jericho's like, hey man, you made it to SummerSlam. Nice. I don't know why you got that special treatment and I didn't. And Seth's like, well, you weren't the number one pick. Now were you, Chris? Chris is like, well, I'll make it there anyway. You know? Just like awkward because they don't hate each other. Chris feels like he should be in Seth Rollins' position, and Seth feels that Chris is trying to take his spot in this little non-authority alliance that's happening. And it is main event time. Chris Jericho versus Randy Orton versus Neville, who is the weak link. And it is a very even triple threat match for the entire thing. Even though Neville was the weak link, a 73, that's nothing to scoff at. So, yeah, it's a weak link, but a weak link compared to 89 and 91. So, it goes for 15 minutes and 18 seconds. And Chris Jericho, he doesn't look like he's solidified the win. In fact, Neville looks like he's about to win. He's about to hit the red arrow on Randy Orton when Big Show runs out, throws Neville off the top rope, hits him with a knockout punch. Chris Jericho, who gets up before Orton, just happens to luck into that part. Big Show would have probably knocked out Orton if Orton got up first. Chris Jericho hits a code breaker, puts Orton in the walls of Jericho, makes him tap out. Chris Jericho has advanced in this little triple threat eliminator. And then after the match, Jericho just kind of celebrate their victory and celebrate Chris Jericho advancing in this little Raw. It's not a tournament, but, you know, he advanced and they're happy. We got an 84. Pretty good. Surprised that main event didn't do better. I guess Neville's 73 really brought it down, but I don't really mind because Neville's going to get a lot of good pop exposure from that. So, 84. Tune into SmackDown. I really don't have much else to say. Once these broadcaster deals expire, I will be sure to get better ones because I don't like having all these, your growth was restricted. Maybe I'll just upgrade the fucking network to like mega status, and I won't need to worry about it. Just like the network becomes the biggest thing on earth. All right, yeah, that's gonna do it. I hope to see you guys for episode 5, which will be the first SmackDown where SmackDown talent is exclusive to SmackDown. SmackDown.